than it was. And that's when Erica reacted. She jumped back like he had really tried something, yelling out, "Don't even try me. I will call the police right now." Loud enough for everybody around to hear. Yandy was in between them in seconds, grabbing Mendeecees by the arm, pulling him back, her voice shaking a little. "Please don't do this. Everybody is watching." But people already had their phones up. There were cameras everywhere. Clips hit Instagram within minutes. People were posting things like, "Did Mendeecees really just lose it?" And Erica playing victim or not? While producers tried to settle everybody down, the retreat organizers were already on the phone with security. Erica didn't let up. She stood there, eyes flashing, saying loud enough for cameras and everyone else, "I'm filing a complaint. He tried to come at me." And in the background, you could hear sirens, lights flashing in the distance. The entire retreat space went dead quiet. Police cars pulled up, their lights bouncing off the walls, cutting through all that retreat energy. Officers stepped out, taking control. One went straight to Erica, asking her calmly, "What happened here?" She repeated her story, voice shaky but strong. "He came at me. I was just defending myself." Another officer pulled Mendeecees to the side, speaking low so not everybody could hear. "Sir, what happened?" The officer asked. Mendeecees tried to explain, "I didn't touch her. I was just trying to make a point." But people nearby had their phones out, showing police the footage. And in that footage, even though it didn't show him actually putting hands on Erica, the way he stepped up and pointed looked aggressive. It looked bad. Enough for the police to decide they had to detain him. Not necessarily an arrest, not yet, but enough to take him in and sort it out away from all the cameras and yelling. Yandy. Why single quotes his face was a whole other story. She wasn't screaming, she wasn't crying loud. But her eyes, everybody saw it. She looked broken, completely helpless. As police got ready to take Mendeecees toward the car, she stepped up to one of them, voice soft but desperate. "Please, can I say something to him before you take him?" The officer nodded, giving her a minute. Erica was still surrounded by people, some asking if she was okay, some whispering behind her back. She kept repeating, "I've had enough. I'm not letting this slide." But all Yandy could focus on was Mendeecees. She walked up to him, took his hand, her voice low, almost shaking. "You promised me you wouldn't let something like this happen again." Mendeecees looked down at her. No words, just a kind of empty stare. He didn't have anything to say then. The police moved to load him into the car. No handcuffs yet, just that quiet escort. But the energy in the air was different now. Everyone stopped talking. It was like the whole place held its breath. All that noise, all that tension disappeared into silence. And in the middle of all that, Yandy stood there, arms wrapped around herself, just watching it happen. Watching her whole world feel like it was falling apart in real time. And there wasn't a single thing she could do to stop it. The police car doors shut with a quiet thud. But for Yandy, it felt like the loudest sound in the world. She just stood there, staring at the back window where Mendeecees was sitting, his face half hidden in shadows. There were no more words left to say. People around her were whispering, recording, trying to catch her reaction. But Yandy wasn't paying attention to any of that. Her mind wasn't on the cameras. It was on her husband, now sitting in a police car because of a moment that escalated too far. It's too fast. Meanwhile, Erica had stepped off to the side with two of the producers. Her face was tight, her arms crossed, voice low but still heated as she explained her side of things over and over again. "He came at me. I told him back off. I told him don't touch me." Her voice cracked, like she wasn't sure if she was angry or about to cry. Some people believed her. Others didn't. But in that moment, Erica didn't care what anybody else thought. She was locked in her version of events, and that's all that mattered to her. The retreat was basically shut down. Organizers told everyone to head back to their rooms, but nobody really moved. People stayed close, standing in small groups, talking in hushed tones. Some were saying Mendeecees never laid a hand on her. Others said they saw him get way too close. Nobody had the full truth. All they had were shaky phone videos and half-heard conversations.Yandy finally turned away from the police car. Her best friend Keisha was standing nearby and tried to pull her into a hug. Yandy just shook her head. "I can't," she whispered. Her voice was barely there, like it hurt to speak. "I told him not to get caught up. I told him," kept repeating that like it was the only thing holding her together. Back at her room, Yandy sat down on the edge of the bed, still in her dress, makeup smeared from tears. Her phone was blowing up with messages, group chats, family members, fans. Everyone had seen the clip already. She didn't even want to look at her own notifications. She felt sick just thinking about it. Her hands were shaking as she set her phone face down on the nightstand. There was no calming down. A few doors down, Erica was sitting on the balcony, phone in hand, scrolling through her own social media. She saw the same clips. She saw people arguing in the comments, saying she was lying, saying she was telling the truth. Some of the messages were nasty. Some were supportive. Her eyes were red, but she wasn't crying anymore. She just looked tired, like the whole thing had drained every bit of energy she had left. One of the producers came up to her, voice low and careful. "Erica, the police are going to want an official statement tomorrow. You sure you want to go through?" With that, Erica didn't even hesitate. "Yeah, I'm sure. Not letting this go. Not this time." Her tone was final. She wasn't backing down. Not after everything that had already gone down on camera. By the next morning, things only got worse. Blogs picked up the story fast. Headline after headline popping up. Mendeecees Harris detained after heated altercation. Yandy Smith caught in emotional moment as husband faces arrest. Reality star Erica Mena claims she was attacked. Fans were in full investigation mode. Some were posting slow-motion clips, trying to prove Mendeecees didn't do anything. Others were tagging Erica, calling her out, saying she set him up. It was like the whole internet turned into a courtroom overnight. Yandy finally picked up her phone. She scrolled through a few messages before opening up her notes app. For a moment, she just stared at the blank screen. Then she started typing. Not for the blogs, not for the cameras. It's just her own thoughts. She wrote, "How do you stay calm when everything feels like it's crashing down around you?" It wasn't a post. It wasn't for anybody else. It's just her way of breathing through the chaos. A little later, her phone rang. It was Mendeecees, lawyer. The voice on the other end was calm, but the news wasn't great. "They're holding him overnight," the lawyer said. Just until they sort through everything. Yandy closed her eyes, pressing her hand to her forehead. "Did they say what the charge is?" she asked. The lawyer said, "Right now, it's just a holding situation. Nothing formal." But Erica's filing her report today, so things could change. Yandy's stomach dropped. She felt like she couldn't even stand up. Word traveled fast. By the time Yandy stepped outside her room, sunglasses on to hide her swollen eyes, people were already watching her. Crew members, other cast members, everyone too polite to ask her anything directly, but she could feel their eyes following her every step. She kept her head down and made her way to the front desk where one of the producers was waiting. Offered her coffee. She shook her head. She didn't want anything. All she wanted was to know when Mendeecees was coming home. Across the resort, Erica was already up, meeting with a local officer to give her official statement. Cameras didn't film that part. They kept it private. But rumors about what she was saying spread fast. Someone told a blog she claimed Mendeecees lunged at her, which only made things blow up more online. Hashtag started trending. Hashtag justice for Erica. Hashtag free Mendeecees. Fans were choosing sides like it was a sport. Later that afternoon, Yandy finally broke her silence. She didn't go live. She didn't post a statement. She just put up a black screen on her Instagram story with a single line of text, praying for clarity in the middle of confusion. That was it. No names. no details. But everybody knew what it meant. And while all this was happening, Mendeecees was still sitting in a holding room. No phone, no outside contact, just him and his own thoughts. Reports say he kept asking the officers, "Can I talk to my wife?" But the answer was always the same, "Not yet." He wasn't angry anymore. Not yelling, just quiet. Waiting. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Some said it was bound to happen. Others said the whole thing was staged. There's no way Yandy didn't know this was coming. One fan posted. Another replied, "Nah, you could see it in her face. She wasn't acting." Meanwhile, production on the retreat completely shut down. Producers sent everybody home early, saying things had gotten too out of hand. The trip that was supposed to bring people together had left, everything even more broken than before. And as the sun started to set that night, Yandy sat alone on the same balcony where she and Mendeecees had shared a quiet moment just a day before. Now all she had was silence and the sound of her own heart breaking in the background. By the time the second night fell, everything felt different. It wasn't just about Mendeecees anymore. The entire city was watching now. Blogs weren't just posting about the incident, they were digging up old clips, old interviews, anything that could tie into what happened between Erica and Mendeecees. Old rumors resurfaced. People started asking if there had ever been tension between them before, things the cameras missed, things nobody talked about until now. It wasn't just a moment anymore. It was a full-blown story. Yandy, why barely slept that night. She spent most of it pacing her room, phone in hand, refreshing her feed, not even sure why. She wasn't posting, wasn't replying to texts, just scrolling, watching the way public opinion kept shifting back and forth. Some fans were writing long posts defending Mendeecees, saying he was a family man, that he'd grown past his old ways. Others weren't so forgiving. There were people saying things like, "Once a hothead, always a hothead." That one stuck in Yandy's head all night. By the next morning, she finally got a call from Mendeecees' lawyer again. This time the news was slightly better. "They're going to release him today," the lawyer said. "But there will still be an investigation." Erica's statement made things messy.